How's it going, everybody? Texas Man here. I hope you guys are all having a fabulous day. Give this video a thumbs up if you guys really enjoy it. Subscribe if you guys have not already. Also, do me the biggest favor of all. Hit that bell notification button so you guys don't miss out on future videos or streams here on my channel. And make sure to head over to Twitch. Follow me there at Douglas447, capital D. Again, that's at Twitch, Douglas447, capital D. It's got a Detective Pikachu icon, and I stream there about twice or so a week. Doing Halo, Battlefield, Overwatch, Call of Duty, Warface, Breakout, and a bunch of other games. And yeah, that's where I primarily stream. Also, if you guys have any questions that you guys want to ask me involving movies, music, video games, TV shows, or airsoft guns, or something completely random, let me know. Put it in the comment section. I do occasionally every month or so, I'll do a podcast and I'll answer your guys' questions in that podcast. And I will also answer it for you guys in the comment section as well. So yeah, just hit me with a couple questions in the comment section, and yeah, your questions might be featured in a future podcast episode that I do here. So with that, of course, we're going to be talking about the movie That Darn Cat. I ended up watching this on Disney Plus, and this came out in 1965. This is a really old movie, and thank you for the person that suggested me to watch this. Yeah, if you guys have any movies you guys really want me to watch, let me know in the comment section as well, because I really love doing these. There's some of them that I've had hit my suggestion box in the comment section, and some of them are good, some are bad, some are like this movie where I'm just like, I fed my face with popcorn while watching this movie because I just really, I didn't care. I didn't care. This movie is rated G, and it's about an hour and 56 minutes long, so it's almost at 2 hours long. And I didn't know this, but it's actually based on a book called Undercover Cat. So first of all, this is basically a police cop-like film mixed in with some animals and comedy, and this film is great for the entire family to enjoy watching. Basically, these two guys, and this is something that really I just realized while thinking about this. They don't ever show you this, but these two guys break into a bank. They end up stealing a bunch of $20 bills, so they rob the bank, but they never show you that in the film, which is kind of bizarre, but whatever. And then they end up kidnapping one of the cashiers, and they bring her with them to this apartment. And the whole point of the film is that DC, this Siamese cat, is a informant. Oh. Yeah, the cat's an informant, okay? You have the FBI trailing after a cat because it found a necklace. This movie has no logic behind it, and we'll get into that later. Back to the positives. I'm sorry, I went off on a rabbit trail there. Oh goodness, a rabbit trail. Thanks, Rose. I love the jazz musical score, the opening quote-unquote theme song. I really love that. Really did like it. I love the odd couple arguing where the old man is constantly disagreeing with his wife, and the wife is just this over-the-top mother hen, and she's constantly, people watching the neighbors and making sure, the younger kids don't have sex, and maybe your girlfriend is, sick, but she's not really sick because she's seeing somebody else, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. The old couple in this film drove me nuts. I love the cat DC. She's a quick tempered Siamese cat, which was really cool. Very smart cat. The conversations that happen in this movie were great. They flow together perfectly, and the dialogue, just the way the characters are interacting with dialogue and what's going on, perfectly well executed, well done. The director did a fantastic job making sure that the flow you never feel like you're supposed to get bored because there's always something going on. I love the scene where DC, the very first time DC is working with the FBI to try to hunt down and find the bank robbers, DC ends up starting the night off, and she just goes about doing these old pit stops, and the FBI is chasing her down, and it ends up ending with the FBI following DC back all the way back to her house where she's living with these human girls. I love the drive-in theater scene. It was very funny, and it was amazingly well shot and done. It was honestly my favorite scene in the whole film. And I also love the final cat chase scene with the FBI chasing DC, and I loved the boyfriend with the soaked tennis shoes, and he's constantly making all this noise while he's trying to follow people around. It was so funny. Um, there's no blood and there's no language in this movie, and honestly, this is just a really good popcorn flick that I can say for sure. If you haven't had a chance to watch That Darn Cat, at least watch it once in your life. It's not going to hurt you. Um, it's just not a movie that I have any intention of ever seeing again. It's a movie that I'm really gonna forget. Um, for negatives, things constantly happen in this movie way too conveniently for both animals and people. Things just happen because the plot needs them to, and they keep the story going. But there's really no explanation for a lot of things. Um, this also is a very predictable movie. There is no shocks, there's no twists, there's no turns, there's no big revelations. There is no wow factor in this movie. And I understand that this movie was made in 1965 and they weren't trying to go for the big shock and all. I understand that this isn't an action adventure movie. There is no horror in this movie. It's a very bare bones movie. This movie's plot is super simplistic. You understand what's going to happen in this movie pretty much in the first 15 to 20 minutes. If you've ever seen any other movie, you know exactly what's going to happen in this movie, beat by beat by beat by beat. There's nothing that's going to surprise you in this film at all. They try to do that in the last like 5 to 10 minutes of the movie, and it doesn't do anything. This movie centers on the cat, the comedy that's going on, the dialogue, but plot-wise, this movie is very bare bones, dry. Things take way too long in this movie to happen. Like I said, this movie is almost 2 hours long. This movie could have been trimmed down to 80 to 90 minutes easily, and it probably would have helped the film because there's a lot of moments in the film that are just super dry and unnecessary. Also, it's way too easy to get into the FBI building. Like one of the main character girls, she's like, "I need to see an FBI agent," and she just walks right past the desk clerk, and I'm like, "This is an FBI building. There should be agents stationed in hallways. There should be security cameras, lasers, or something." Like she just walks in and she goes past the desk clerk and goes to see this agent, which she has somewhat of a crush on. It's really never explained. And I'm just like, this is the worst FBI building I have ever seen for security reasons. Also, cat allergies. The FBI agent that's hired to help track down the bank robbers, he has a cat allergy. But he never speaks up and says anything to anybody, really. And when he's constantly sneezing because of his cat allergy, for whatever reason it happens when he wants to say cat, I don't understand that. But he has a cat allergy. And no one really notices it. They're just like, "Oh, you're sick. Oh, you're not feeling well." I'm like, he's got cat allergy. He's got a dandruff problem with cats. What planet is everybody on in this movie? And then last negative I want to talk about, how and why exactly. So why? Let's go back. How does everybody know that DC leaves the house at 9 p.m.? And why does DC leave the house at 9 p.m. Like, they make this a really big, strong point in the movie of DC leaving the house at 9 p.m. for DC to do its her night hunting or whatever, night walk. But they never explain why. Why is 9 p.m. so significant in this film? Like, they constantly bring that up, but there's no reasoning. There's no explanation. There's no, why is this such a big, important thing? Overall, guys, I had a decent time watching this movie. Like I said, I'd give it a watch once at least. Unfortunately, it's going to be something that I forget in the next couple days. It just, it doesn't leave a lasting impact. It's not a memorable movie. I can see that a lot of people enjoyed this movie. They'll probably consider it a classic film, a quote-unquote cult type of film. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing against that, because there are some movies that I know are super bad, super boring, but I like them because there's something in them, or a memory or a moment in them that I was able to connect with, or there was something going on in my life that I was able to just, I watched that movie and it allowed me to escape reality for a couple hours. So I can see it happening with this movie to other people. So, you know, you might think this movie is amazing, a 9, 10 out of 10. But I'm looking through this film through a reviewing lens, and unfortunately, guys, I have to give That Darn Cat from 1965 a 5 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys all have a fabulous day. I'll see you guys in the next video or stream, whether it be here on YouTube or Twitch at Douglas447. Bye, guys.